Hey guys, Bart from TST Industries here. Welcome to TST Garage. In this episode, I have a beautiful, brand new GSX-S750 with me. I'll be demonstrating the installation of the various different types of signal lights that we offer for all different bikes. I'll be demonstrating the installation flow on this bike here for you. Now, you go grab yourself one of these bikes. They are beautiful, they are styled in a very modern way. And then you get to the lighting package and you see this. Now, me for one, I don't like these things very much. They are very large and bulbous and very low-tech design that doesn't go along with the design language of these machines. They also use incandescent light bulbs inside. They draw a lot of current. It's kind of wasteful. Now, what do? We do offer several different types that you see in front of me. We have the ARO18, our Echo signals, and our BL6 signals. We do have some other offerings that we will be doing separate videos for, but for the installation flow that I will be presenting in this video, these are the ones that we'll be showing. Now the BL6, is our customer favorite. People who purchase our fender eliminators and other parts for their bikes, they typically opt for the BL6. This here, the Echo, is an aluminum construction, anodized black. It's got some laser inscription in it, and it does have this silver accent ring that you can change out to a different color like you see here. I did build a blue one because blue goes along with this color scheme really nicely, so this is a really nice option. It comes to you with a silver ring, and then the other rings are optional, so you would have to opt for that. Our ARO18 is a very basic arrow shape signal. It is just a basic 18 LED signal. All of these are very, very bright. They just have a different design to them. So the choice is really yours. Now, we do have our signals come pre-equipped with 3.5 millimeter male bullet connectors. This is an industry standard. This does not plug right into your bike because, as you can see, this vehicle comes with these factory specific plugs. So what do we do about that? We have our harness converters that are either optional if you're purchasing this separately. You could also drop this in your cart, or you could just buy a front signal bundle that has all the elements already bundled together. These are very simple. You just wire them in, black to black, yellow to yellow, and then you have termination that is plug and play on your bike. As you can see here, the mounting pad is vastly different than our signals. So we'll need some kind of a coupler or interface. And for that purpose, we've created these spacers that go over the geometry left behind by the removal of the OEM signals and present a nice surface to mount our signals to. And the design language is congruent with the lines and flow of this motorcycle. So we will be making use of these components along with our harness converters with our choice of signal lamps. One other component I want to mention, because some people do like to have running lights in their signals, is our running mate. These particular OEM signals only have 2 conductors going into them, which means it's a single circuit bulb in here. It's only able to fire when the signaling system is telling it to. On Yamaha and Honda vehicles, we have a running light that's integrated into signals, and some people like to have that on Suzuki motorcycles. So we produce a component that plugs in line here. As you can see, you do have 2 conductors going into your signaling lamp, but you have 3 inputs. So 2 of the inputs would be taken up by your standard signaling circuit, which we plug in through here, like I mentioned before. And we have 1 leftover wire that needs to be tapped into a switched and fused plus 12 in there. We did prepare a separate video showing you how to wire that up and how to configure it. This is shown on a SV650, so it's very, very close to this machine. I invite you to check that out on our website or our YouTube channel. Before we start wrenching, I just want to mention that when you go away from using the incandescent light bulbs in the OEM signals that draw a lot of current and replace them with LED signals that draw very, very little current, your signaling system is going to go a little wacky. It'll start flashing very fast. Now, this is to alert you that there's something wrong. Is there something wrong? No, you have signals and they are firing. They're just tripping up the OEM system. The relay on board this machine will tell the signals to flash fast to alert you. What do we do about that? If you just leave it, it'll just flash fast. It will not harm any of the electronics. This is just an alert system. If you want to change that and go back to the OEM 85 cycles per minute rate, we do have a plug and play component that replaces your OEM relay that lives under here. We do have a separate video showing you how to install that, so please check that out on our YouTube channel. All right, I'm done yapping. I'm gonna choose the BL6 signals for this particular installation. They are available in smoked or clear lens. I'm choosing smoked because that's what I did with the fender eliminator on the back of this bike. So let's get started. Let's remove this shroud here. We're gonna use a 4mm Allen to remove these two fasteners from the top. Once they are out, there is one more friction interference fastener somewhere around here. That just pops out. Now we have access to two more screws in here. They are silver. They also take a 4mm Allen. They are the only fasteners up here, so I'm gonna crack these loose. I'm gonna hop around back behind this headlight enclosure and remove the two push fasteners from back here. Press in the center and comes out, and then I like to reset it back to this state so that it's ready for reinsertion. All right, now back to these two screws. I will show you what I'm talking about. These are shoulder screws that are silver in color. They fit through a rubber grommet. They look like this. Let's get those out. Now this headlight will pivot down. It has a hinge feature down here. We will prevent it from just falling forward and pivot it down, and then we could unseat it by pulling up on it. At this point, it'd be necessary to make some disconnections here. There is a running light connector here. If you are doing the running mate, you will be wiring your blue wire into this chocolate colored wire in this circuit. Whether you go on this side of the harness or on the headlight, it doesn't really matter. This is a little bit more practical. Now we will extract the main headlight plug, and now this chunk is good to be put to the side. Now we are presented with what's in here. You have your right signal, your left signal. Let's go ahead and disconnect both of these. I'm gonna grab an 8mm box wrench and loosen these nuts here. Once the nut is out, this just comes right out. We are going to do both because that's the quickest and simplest flow. Nice and simple. All right. So here is where our spacer comes in. There is a hole feature that fits around this sleeve, goes down flush, and then our signal fits right through here. To fit our signal through, we will need to unravel the wires and remove the nut and washers off of it. So we just feed our wires through and seat the signal in here. Ends up looking like this, and just tighten it down. If you are running the ARO 18 signals, I did want to mention that the factory sleeve here is a bit too small to pass the actual stud. It'll be very, very tight. So I recommend going in there with a drill of appropriate size to bust this out just a little bit, or possibly cut off the sleeve altogether and just punch through with a 10 millimeter or something close to it diameter drill bit, but I think most of you guys won't have this issue because most people just opt for one of these signals. I'll show you what this looks like before I install the BL6. I think it's worth showing. It also has a pretty cool look. It is very congruent with this type of naked machine. Choice will be yours ultimately, but for now, let's install our BL6. Let's make sure I have the correct side. They are side specific. You are technically supposed to be able to read this, so if it's upside down, you have it in the wrong position. Other indicator is flat side of lens, curved side of lens, curved goes up. Feed it through. We ship these signals with a split washer and a flat washer. We are going to forgo the flat washer for this installation. We are only using the split washer and then the nut. All right, let's grab a 12 millimeter open-ended wrench and start tightening down on this part. Over tightening this will damage it, so we want to ensure that we just get enough force on here to prevent it from moving, and then that's it. The other tip I want to make sure I convey to you guys is the lazy way of getting this fastener pair together is to hold the nut and spin the lamp. If you do that and this is bound up, your wire is bound up, you will twist and twist and twist and rip those wires out of the circuit board. Our warranty does not cover that. That is an installation error, so please be patient and do it right. All right, we're good here. Since I'm already in here and doing things step by step, I'm just gonna do the other side real quick. Want to make sure that our beam direction, the individual axes of the light sources, are actually parallel to the ground. And then tighten down on this connection like I described in a previous step. Now we're ready to make our electrical connections. With that, we will grab one of the harness converters, and this is as simple as it sounds: yellow to yellow, black to black. We do have insulating caps on these connectors, and they slip over and they prevent short circuits. However, during road vibration, riding around, they may slip off over time. So, as a precaution, I like to lock them down with some electrical tape. I'll grab a single piece, go to the yellow. The yellow is more interesting to us because ground is ground and this is positive. And if it's hot, it's gonna short circuit and it's gonna blow a fuse. So let's lock down the yellow first and then throw a nice tight winding around the rest. That'll keep our connection nice and secure, prevent water from getting in there, and then also just look neat. All right, plug it in. Let's test it real quick. As predicted, with all LED signals, it's flashing much faster than the OEM 85 cycle per minute rate. If you want to combat that, you can go ahead and replace your relay. We do have a separate video showing you how to do that. This connector, the OEM connector, sits in a cradle here. It snaps in, and then we have all this excess bulk. But the nice engineers over at Suzuki gave us the opportunity to go right behind this harness with this just being S-folded, and that'll keep it in place for us out of the way of the headlight plug. and out of the way of rattling due to vibration. So I'll distribute my bulk in here, make it look nice and neat. All right, everything is self-captive here. And go on to the other side. Other side is exactly the same. All right, at this point, we are ready to put our headlight assembly back on. We start with the connectors. Before I do that, let me show you guys the hinging surface. These are the 2 hinge pins that sit in here. That's how we're able to get it in position, then rotate it up. Plug the headlight in. Connect the running light lead. Drop the headlight assembly onto the hinge pins. Rotate it into position, making sure the wire bulk is going through the appropriate area here. There we go. And replace the shoulder screws. From this point forward, we are performing the reverse order of this assembly, so I will not offer commentary. And with the reinstallation of the push pins here on the back of the headlight shroud, we are now done. Let's give it one more test. Boom. Left, right, everything's looking good. I'm gonna hop in there and change my relay and then send this thing out the door. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I got the relay in there. Let's test it now. We have proper flash rate. Both sides looking nice. It's a very simple installation and produces really nice effects, I think. If you agree, check out tstindustries.com. We have these parts ready to go. We also have fender eliminators and other bits for this bike. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. See you later.